Yeah, different things work for different personalities. I think that I'm so glad you shared that, Jay. I mean, that gets pretty deep, and I was thinking, sometimes boring works better. Like that is like methodical, and it's weird because I if I could buy into that, I could see myself doing that if I bought into it as like what would be the best potential. But what I love right now is that I am so excited about stuff that not only are other people not excited about, they literally don't know it. I mean, it's this whole dichotomy between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because why isn't discovery exciting to people? It should be. It's like shouldn't a treasure hunt be like the most exciting thing to like? I mean, like people like pirate stories and like finding catacombs and things, but like nobody cares. They really don't care, and I find that so fascinating. They're obsessed with like new technologies and things. And so if we were at the tail end of the discovery phase, I know I'd be like, oh, this is weird. Like everybody loves it, but it's something that people should be excited about, and it's just so incredibly out of favor, and I just can't get over that. And so it not only aligns with my personality, but like I am just so focused in on that. And as an opposite to Jay, like I am, more looking for that big winner, like as a stock pick. But as an very important side note, a couple years ago, I didn't even really know exploration existed, or like I really didn't know much about it at all. I kind of went down the rabbit hole and realized so few other people knew this. So even though we're starting to diverge a little bit, Jay and I definitely have some overlaps in picks and interests. Like I have also changed a lot, especially starting about 2 years ago, in really getting honed in on exploration. And it's not like I'm an expert, understanding the geological and the technical stuff, but I get as much help as I can. There's so many different factors that go into it, and that's also what's interesting to me is that I don't consider myself especially quantitative, even though I do like numbers, more the business numbers, but I try to bring in all the qualitative factors. And I know for a fact that many people in this industry are very poor at that. Geologists tend to be poor at that, and sometimes they don't even realize they are. And so there's a whole different side of getting an edge that way. And like I'm really passionate about it again because so few people seem to care. But it just goes to show there's a lot of different ways to make money in this industry. And I just think it's really cool that, you can kind of fit it with your personality. And you can also, you can start looking at things one way, and a year later you can change it based on your own successes and failures. And experimentation is really key here. And I think you can lead you to making a lot of money.
Yeah, it's the sentiment thing I think is really important too, and depending where you are in the cycle, because last year, as you guys probably remember really vividly, the producers led the way and then the developers, but when the explorers caught a bid, they outperformed everything. Like you had with gold, but particularly I guess with silver, you were seeing 10 baggers, like it wasn't like a pipe dream or anything. It actually happened. It became reality. It was crystallized, right? And like the run up and the mania that can happen when sentiment comes back in favor, it's really, really powerful. So one thing I'm trying to keep in mind or at least I'm trying to formulate, is my own like hypothesis of kind of where we are right now. And I really think because sentiment is kind of gone right now in the space as a whole, and particularly, I guess, with the really obscure early stage exploration stories, to me, it's setting up that kind of that possibility again, where if there is another turn, I would expect the producers kind of to lead again, and the more advanced stage developers and the explorers that are well followed and well tracked. But after that, I think at some point you're gonna get like the stories that you guys are both diving into right now and researching and, even buying kind of behind the scenes because nobody else is focused on it. That stuff, when it catches a bid, will probably most likely outperform everything else because you're talking about these sub 10 million micro caps, if you will. And if the sector as a whole heats up again, these things will go 5x like nothing. So it's always being cognizant of where we are, because last year I think is just such a good reminder when everything is at its apex of hype and greed and like all of that stuff, when retail starts to pile in and you see obscure junior explorer and it has like the 50 to 100 million market cap and they haven't drilled one hole, and they might not even have a plan on what they're going to do with the drilling. Maybe they're just doing, I don't know, like soil samples or whatever. Because I remember there was this company in Australia, ASX listed company, and they had just acquired a property or something, and there was no plans or anything. It was just like, we're just trying to close this private placement and secure the property or whatever. And the stock was shooting up like 20% every day, just because it's like, hey, they're gonna acquire a new property. I don't know anything about the property, but the stock's gonna get bid up like crazy. And like that's what happens in a frenzy. It's like if a management team says, okay, here's our plan for drilling, and it especially was relevant to lithium. I saw like the most crazy thing with lithium is like a company would acquire an asset and they said, we're gonna prospect around it, not even drill or anything, and the stock would go up like 40% in a day or something, right? When you see that, it should be a good like reminder to yourself, like, hey, this is not cheap territory anymore. Exploration is catching a bid. I should be very, very, very cautious if I'm playing in the space, or even think about like booking some profits or something like that. But right now, that's we're nowhere near that. It's like night and day. It's like the sentiment is completely gone and it's void again. So depending on where we are in the cycle, I think you can make very selective and strategic entry points. And now I think it's a much better buying opportunity again, like we were saying from the beginning, than it was like last summer. And you can really ride it up on the next wave. We just need that next wave to materialize and hopefully soon.